David Hogshead here. We'll be looking at some, hopefully some practical applications for the opening sequence of Pinan Sandan or Heian Sandan. And here I'll be looking at kind of how can we work these bunkai moves as a shadow boxing drill. Now when we think of shadow boxing, usually Thai boxing, boxing, kickboxing kind of comes to mind, where the fighter is practicing some combinations, thinking about techniques, visualizing his opponent, his or her opponent, and sort of thinking about slipping and jabbing and striking and doing various things, right? Visualization, thinking about applying certain techniques in sequences and combinations. What does that sound like? Kata. So in my view, kata is kind of a highly sort of specialized or formalized form of shadow boxing, where you have a preset grouping of techniques that illustrate combative principles, using a few techniques in order to demonstrate and follow through on those particular combative principles. It's a form of shadow boxing. So why not use shadow boxing as a way to practice, solo practice, some practical applications of those movements? Whereas the kata is highly formalized and structured, giving you opportunities for biomechanics, visualization, full speed and power. Why not then sort of separate out some of the aspects of the kata, think about applying them in certain scenarios, and then shadow box those scenarios. So you can take pieces of your kata and create your own shadow boxing drills where you're visualizing a very specific kind of self-defense scenario and applying the techniques. Again, this is a way to supplement partner training. In no way should it replace partner training, but many of us are still in lockdown or in quarantine because of the virus. So this might be a way that you can enhance your solo training, training at home or wherever you find space where you can do some solo training. All right, so I'll be looking at the opening sequence of Pinan Sandan or Heian Sandan, and here I'm thinking about it in terms of a wrist release. You're dealing with a wrist grab, and there are different ways or reasons why your wrist might be grabbed. In this case, I'm thinking about you've attacked the person's groin or eye, or choking your enemy, and then the enemy has grabbed your wrist to get your hand off of his body, whatever part you're grabbing, and now you need to deal with that. You need to get your hand back and continue fighting so that you can escape. So that's kind of the scenario that I'm thinking about for the opening sequences of Pinan Sandan or Heian Sandan. All right, so the sequence that I'm looking at here is basically sort of, you've got the first opening sequence here. I'm looking more at sort of this side here, where you've got this sort of chest block position, you've got your arms moving up and down, then you're moving 90 degrees with another chest block, and you've got this shuto strike, and then this movement here. Right? So that's kind of the sequence I'm looking at. Well, how might we think of that in terms of dealing with wrist grabs? So one scenario is you're kind of clinched up, and you've gone, you're striking, whatever, you've gone and grabbed the enemy's groin. That could work, and then you can take them down, strike, do whatever. But a likely response from the enemy would be to grab your hand to pull it off his groin, right? And so we're going to use this movement here to try to deal with that. So, imagine that you've grabbed the groin, he's grabbed your wrist and to pull it off his groin. What you're going to do is use that chest block motion to try and reverse the grab. Right? So you could be knee striking here, loosen them up a bit. You're going to use this motion here for the chest block. This other hand, the hikate, is going to hit the crook of his elbow to help get that arm bent and relaxed a bit. And then you're going to move your arm up, reverse the grab as you pull on the crook of his elbow. Hopefully what that does for him is this kind of thing, right? You're moving his arm up this way, and then you're cranking his elbow, right? So you're getting this kind of thing. Notice what it does to his body. Twists him up, takes this hand away. It's harder for him to strike with that other hand. Now he's going to want to square up or whatever, but you get a good hard twist on that elbow, it's going to be difficult for him. But you don't want to hang out there, right? All right, so we've got that opening move here, right? That chest block position. Now the kata says step in, your one hand goes down while the other hand goes up, well, you reverse that. You're going to crank down on his wrist as you push up on his elbow, right? So that's going to hopefully twist him up. From there, he's compromised his body position. You can strike, do various things. But let's just follow through with another option that the kata mentions. The next move, right, so we're here, which is that basic position. The next move in the kata is go 90 degrees with another chest block. What I'm thinking about there is I'm going to use that step and I'm going to continue pressing on that elbow this way to take the enemy down. And so I'm going in this position. Now it's not exactly the kata. You can do it to either side, right? In this particular scenario, because I have this particular arm, I'm going to step through right, push with the right hand, basically into that chest block position, right? So after I've got him cranked up, I'm going to step this way. Now, one interpretation of cat stance is that it can be a transitional position for a sweep, right? So what we're going to do here is step through, sweep, take down, right? Hopefully it goes down, strike, and you can leave. Now, what if that doesn't work? Well, the kata gives you another option. If it doesn't work, if the takedown doesn't work, he's still there, he steps around, whatever, different scenarios can happen where the takedown doesn't work. Well, the kata says, well, slam your forearm into his upper body, his chest, head, or neck, right? So we've got this. I've tried the takedown, it didn't work. So now I'm going to step through, I'm going to strike with that forearm, wrap up his neck, step through, I'm going to take him down over that leg. There's the function of that side stance, right? So you have that side stance, pivot around, strike. Well, you've got the arm up, you tried to take him down, it didn't work. You're going to step in, hit him, wrap that neck up, step through, throw him over that bent leg, strike, and then out. So that's a basic sort of combination that you can use for that opening sequence. Another scenario is a high wrist grab. So the first one was a low wrist grab. The other one can be high wrist grab, in which case you went for an eye gouge with your thumb or with your fingers, or you tried to grasp his throat. He grabs the wrist to get it off his face or his throat. Well, the hand is already up here, so I don't need to do this position, right? If the wrist is grabbed low, you use that opening chest block to reverse the grab and go into that elbow crank or shoulder crank, right? Well, if the hand is already high, he's grabbed your wrist, reverse that, come in, get the crook of the elbow, and you're already in that position for this hand to go low, this hand to go high, yeah? And you're back in that same position. Then you step through, try the takedown. If it doesn't work, slam him, throw him over that leg, strike, and out. So then you can just basically use shadow boxing to work that particular combination, right? So you can be here, right? And out. And then you do it starting from a high position, right? So you're here, throwing some knee strikes, he grabs the wrist, you're here, try to take that, it worked. And then you can visualize different scenarios where that first takedown works or it doesn't work, right? So say it doesn't work, so you're here, go for the takedown, doesn't work, slam, throw him, and out. And you just keep working that over and over to both sides. So there's an example of using more focused shadow boxing drills to work very specific bunkai applications for portions of the kata. The kata itself, in my view, is a kind of shadow boxing, but it's much more stylized, formalized. Where here you can pick out different portions, work those applications using this shadow box technique. So I hope that's a helpful illustration of how you can supplement and augment your solo training by using shadow boxing drills.